All right, hello everyone. This is your girl Jynnette, the Oracle. My chat isn't showing up on this screen, but at the very least, I'm happy to see, at least from my stream output, that the video is looking much clearer. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not going to mess around with things because I don't want the I don't want to mess up the stream. So I apologize that I'm not able to see the live chat. That just means that I just don't need to be answering questions today. And next time I'll figure out what's going on with that. But you know, video quality is priority. Anyway, happy Thursday. Welcome to everybody who is here. Sorry that I can't see you. But it's all good. So I hope that you have been surviving this eclipse. I know it has been a whirlwind for a lot of folks. I know it's been for me, but hopefully by this point you should feel that it is starting to, the intensity is starting to dissipate. And I definitely feel that by the time we get into the weekend that we really will be feeling so much better. So I'm happy about that. But yes, I hope that everyone is doing well. I hope that you've been having a good week so far. And thank you to those of you who are participating in the July crystal healing grids. Today is the final day for this week's grid, which is focused on supporting the transition of any and all souls that you know, are ready, willing, and able to transition, that have been stuck here for whatever reason, whether it's from experiences of trauma, not being able to move on, or actually being hindered from transitioning to the light, supporting that where we are, or even globally in that regard. So yeah, today's the final day, so you can take down your grids tomorrow and then charge them over the next couple of days of the weekend. And then next week we will shift the focus to supporting the elementals and as well as Earth herself, Gaia herself, for next week, and that will be starting on Wednesday. So that will be a Wednesday through Friday grid, and you can find out more specific details on my Instagram page, which is Innerson Alchemy, or on Facebook, again, Innerson Alchemy, okay? And I usually post the info about that like the day before or the day of. All right, so to get started, actually, I do want to check just to make sure this is showing okay on the other. I'm gonna pull up a different browser just to see. Make sure things are looking okay over there. And I'm drinking some green juice right now. Make sure things are looking okay over there. Okay. And I'm drinking some green juice right now. Okay. So the video looks okay. Oh, I do see Sharice over there. Yay! Hi, Sharice. All right, so I'm gonna get out of there because I don't want to push my luck with this streaming right now. With this Mercury retrograde and everything, I'm like, listen. Yeah, because I'm just trying to watch the stream output and it looks okay, but I think yeah, if I'm doing too much, it's gonna start acting up. So let's not push it. So let me go through this week's astrology real quick. So this week meaning starting from today through next Wednesday. So today being the 18th, we do have Venus trining Neptune. So Venus is in Cancer, Neptune of course is in Pisces and it's retrograde. So this should definitely feel better today because both Venus and Neptune are very healing. Now, because it is all water, it may bring up emotions, but it should feel like a relief. Okay, but overall, I think this is going to be like a healing balm kind of day for everyone and feel much more restorative. So that should be good. All right, so tomorrow we do have Mercury retrograding back into Cancer. All right, so that means that right now it's at like basically the 0 degree of Leo, and it's going to be retrograding back into Cancer. So that actually happens at midnight tonight on the West Coast. It'll be about 3 o'clock in the morning for you East Coast folks. So you might be doing a lot of reminiscing, might have some, reminiscing dreams tonight, what have you. But that's that. Saturday, we don't have any major aspects. It's just more moon transits that are going on for Saturday. Then Sunday, the 21st, we do have Venus opposing Pluto, okay? So Venus, again, is in Cancer. Pluto is retrograde in Capricorn. Now, I believe I mentioned this in my post on Instagram yesterday and also on Facebook about this dynamic of the Sun and Venus opposing Saturn and Pluto. So I invite you to go check that out. I'll later on, when I have some time and I can fill out the description box below, I'll put the direct links in there so you can read up on that. But that will be the day that Venus opposes Pluto. And then also it's the same day that the Sun is conjuncting Mercury. Okay, because Mercury, of course, has gone back into Cancer. And then on Monday, we actually have the Sun shifting into Leo. So that should be a really nice transition, Sunday into Monday, because we get a chance to have Sun and Mercury conjunct, which is always nice energy. It usually brings a lot of insight and a lot of clarity in our mental processing and also in communication. And then the Sun's going to shift into Leo, where that is its home sign, Monday night. So that happens at 7:50 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I'm really looking forward to that because I'm a North Node Leo person. And I have a lot of lion aspects in my Vedic chart. So Leo time is always a great time for me. So I'm very happy about Leo season coming up. And also just a shifting out of this watery vibe. Okay, so that's Tuesday. And then finish the week off on Wednesday is when we have the third quarter square moon. So that is going to be, like I said, the day that we start the next grid. The next healing grid, and that day also, that quarter moon, that third quarter square moon is going to be in Taurus, okay? And then also on that day, Wednesday the 24th, we will have Mercury conjuncting Venus in Cancer, so that also should be a really nice day as well too. So there might be a little blessings that comes in, or you might get a message about some opportunity or some money, or maybe you're waiting to hear back about a job. That possibly could show up for you on that day, okay? So that's what's coming for the week ahead. I would say if you want more specifics about the degrees and everything, check out the July astrology forecast that I have up on my website. Again, I'll try to remember to put that in the description box below so that you can just go directly to it when I have some time a little bit later, okay? Sorry, I'm looking at my cell, man. I'm like, I see all these striations. All right, so let's go ahead and get into messages for today. So take a few deep breaths. Okay, so I just got a message actually to do a quick touch base on these next 4 weeks. Interesting. Let's see what that's about. So I'm going to pull a grounding energy to see what this is about, i.e. why, and then look at the next 4 weeks. Okay, so what's the, oh, that's a lot of cards, but I think I will actually take it because this is the exact amount of cards that I would need. So it's the Page of Cups. So it's a this would be a new soul path. That's also Venus in Cancer too. Let me see. I can't remember if there actually was a Venus aspect on Tuesday for the eclipse itself. Venus was opposing Saturn on the eclipse day as well. Okay. All right, so week 1, we have Queen of Pentacles. So that would be today moving forward. Okay, so this specifically is Capricorn. So I think this might actually be, well, I mean, it's basically this whole corridor because Venus in Cancer, which is this, opposing Saturn and Pluto in Cancer is basically, Tuesday through Sunday. So we're basically in week 1 right now. So this is the energy of week 1. Week 2 is 8 of Pentacles, more earth energy. I'm actually hearing from this getting back to work. For week 2. All right, week 3, we have 6 of Wands, victory. Now, week 3, interestingly enough, with this being a fire energy, this is the week that we have the new moon in Leo. And technically that's the last day of July. But that's a victory card. But everything really is quite positive. And then week 4 is 8 of Cups. So this is emotional maturity for sure. But it's also striving for a sense of completion. This is a different kind of portal we're going to because we have 2 different 8s. We have the 8 of Earth and then the 8 of Cups. Okay, so what I'm actually going to do is see what we actually need to do about this energy. Interesting, interesting. Wow. Okay. Alrighty. So, I mean, with these past 2 weeks, what we have is the Ace of Wands. So this is literally, the new beginning of an energetic cycle, which is what happens when we have a new moon eclipse, which obviously would have been on July 2nd, with the new moon eclipse in Cancer. Okay, so that began a new process for us for this next 6 months. And I've been talking about that and writing about that. So that shouldn't really be a surprise, but it is also opportunities to grow and develop in the arena that Cancer represents in general as a concept and idea, as well as where that might be in your chart, obviously your astrological chart. Now, what we are needing to actually bring our attention to is this Page of Pentacles. So this is putting in the work to develop this next path, and this is the first stages of it. Now, interestingly enough, the action we have to take is the Devil card, and this is actually Capricorn. So we are still in a tricky spot right now. And you know what? I think it's because of this Mercury retrograde. We haven't fully cleared this old energy. So we are having to watch where we're taking action into the new. okay, versus falling back into the old stuff that may have popped up with this Mercury retrograde. It also can talk about having to be really cognizant of how naive we may be being about a situation. And needing to keep our wits about us. This also could talk about balancing the juxtaposition between our inner sense and our soul purpose and our light with our ability to navigate, you know, the human world, the mundane stuff that we have to deal with, the things that are outside of our control. I mean, that ultimately is the dance of Cancer and Capricorn, because Cancer is the individual soul, your individual soul power, going with the flow of where spirit, where the soul leads you, which is very much this energy, the Fool. Okay. But, you know, here in the physical, we still have to deal with Capricorn, which represents power outside of ourselves, systems outside of ourselves, authority figures outside of ourselves that we have to deal with. So we can't put our head in the sand with that. But I think we have a good sense of that now. Because we've recently overcome and had victory in this, which is justice, coming to a place of balance. So I think we are able to do this much more easily now than before, which is good. And I think we're also less likely now to revert to coping mechanisms that numb us out, whether that's people, like sex, or drugs, drinking, whatever. Watching a bunch of Netflix, killing time, literally. Yeah. But the predominant energy seems to be very much about Pentacles. So, you know, with this 6-month cycle that we are in for the eclipse for Cancer, but also just the longer term influence of the North Node in Cancer that we've been sitting in since last November. Security is a big thing right now. Security and foundations, and making sure that we have what we need in place to feel safe. First and foremost for our needs, right? Our basic human needs, but also for our desires. And we may just feel a little unsettled because we sense there's a lot shifting, even though in the material world, not much is happening. Like everything is pretty chill and pretty even. But I think there's just been so much change in the spirit, emotionally, etc., that we're a little disoriented. I'm getting the message too that it's time to start speaking what you want into existence. And remain consistent in your actions. So, you know, even though there is this renewal and kind of starting over that's happening, again, it doesn't mean that you are starting from scratch. Okay, it's just you're getting a chance to get refreshed and to build in a different area of life, which will necessarily feed into and make your entire life all the better. If that makes sense. Okay. I want to see what this specifically upcoming week is, because I wasn't trying to do like weeks ahead. Let's just drill into this week. So I don't want to get too big. I mean, the energy does feel big, but I do want to drill down, come down to one or two core truths that we can use to, or principles we can use to walk through the week. Oh, I gotta use a different deck. All right. I love when they tell me that like mid-shuffle after I've gone through several shuffle. I know my energy is all over the place, but I'm on my cycle. It's not in a bad way, but it's just, it's a time of rest and restoration. Okay, week ahead. What's the grounding energy for today? Okay, Queen of Wands. I knew there was going to be some kind of Venus energy or goddess energy showing up, so. All right. So spiritual power, charisma, magnetism, sexual energy, power, control. And that's being clarified by the Six of Swords, which is being in alignment with the mind and the intuition, the higher mind. This is definitely spiritual power for sure. Your individual spark of life, your fuel, your inner wisdom, your wise woman, your wise man, but also your fully realized adult nature. Okay, we got Princess of Swords. Whoops. King of Swords. Queen of Earth came out again. Okay, so since that has come out again, then that means that this coming weekend, and specifically that transit of Venus opposing Pluto, is important. Okay. We're showing up as the magician. So yeah, just pure creator state, pure beingness, consciousness, intention, creating the world. So we do have to continue being mindful of what we are creating, what we're saying yes to, especially with all this Capricorn energy and the South Node. What are we agreeing to? Are we shackling ourselves back to the past, or are we making new agreements for the future? Six of Pentacles, Princess of Wands. And then we got King of Cups and King of Earth as outcome energy. Ace of Cups here at the bottom of the deck. And right underneath that is Death card. Okay. Now, I will say, since we did have the King of Earth come out, I mean, basically we have we actually have counterpart energy out here, divine counterpart, so relationship energy. Whether this is business or romance, actually, because it's Earth. So again, that message that was coming through earlier, like especially for those of you who are in the job search process, or if you own your own business, like if there's something big that's coming up, it looks like there's some kind of either meeting of the mind, like an important meeting that's happening next week, conversation, agreement, or whatever. But I like the energy. It looks good. So I think whatever it is that you are dealing with in that regard is going to be successful, because that message is coming through very strong. So it means that, you know, for a lot of folks, there's a lot of transition happening with work that's been going on for a little while. Again, whether you work for yourself or if you work for a corporation, but it looks like a lot of this stuff is culminating next week in a really positive way. And I think ultimately everything will be successful. I mean, that's what it feels like. So if you're looking to get a job, you might get an offer next week. If you own your own business and you're looking to like snag some opportunity or whatever, like I don't even know what that would be. I can't think right now. That looks really good. Now for relationships, like I said, we do have the King and Queen of Earth out, and we have the Queen of Fire and King of Cups. So this is the spiritual connection, okay? Fire and water, the balance of the divine feminine, divine masculine, and then we have the physical embodiment of that. So for some of you guys, if you've been dealing with somebody for a while, and you're kind of waiting for things to coalesce, that might happen by the end of next week, possibly. Or if you sit more in the feminine energy and you've been working on balancing the masculine, that's going to definitely be happening, because we start the week in the feminine, Queen of Wands and Queen of Earth, you know, through the weekend. And then we end with both of the kings. So that also could be the birthing of the balanced, mature masculine for you. Okay. And then for me, the masculine energy within is the energy that we use to act upon. So it's our energy of our ambition, our drive. And in the feminine principle, the divine feminine principle within is the fuel. It's the vision. It's the why. It's the creativity. It's source, right? So that very much could be the case. We actually have 3 kings on the board because the King of Air already showed up, which means we actually have the Emperor here. Whenever I have multiple kings, this is Emperor energy to me. Which also very much can talk about the sun in the 10th house, and that's Capricorn. But there is still a sense, because this Princess of Swords came out, there is still a sense that overall we're really kind of unsettled. Like our minds are really just trying to come back to some sense of normal. Give it time though. And that's tricky, because if we're already showing up as the magician, then that means that really on an unconscious level, we are creating things that we don't realize that we are. And that's a little problematic, especially because the Devil card had already shown up. So really be conscientious of your thoughts right now. They might not be taking over, but your subconscious really may be having a field day right now, causing you to spiral. But I don't think, to be honest, that emotionally you're all over the place by this point, or by the time we get into the weekend. I think a lot of that was more so showing up in the days leading up to the eclipse, right? But I think because there really hasn't been much water that's shown up, whether for this week or for the next 4 weeks from that first spread. So, I think this shift now that we're heading into with the Leo is going to be helping. Because also, just as a heads up, Mars, Venus, and Sun will be in Leo very shortly. And then actually in August, I believe, Mars and Venus will actually be conjuncting. So I'm going to be talking about that in my astrology forecast for April, which will more than likely come out the week after next. Okay, Mars is already in Leo. Venus is shifting soon into that. So they're actually going to be conjuncting in Virgo. They're actually going to be conjuncting in Virgo. So, okay, it's the 24th actually when they conjunct. All right. And that's in April. April. Oh my God, it's in August. What was going on in April? That's when we had Taurus season. It was the end of Aries, and then we shifted into Taurus. Oh, was Mars in? Hold on 1 second. Sorry. Actually, I'm not going to apologize because I'm not sorry. No, because we started the year off with Mars and Aries. That's what I thought. I'm like, Venus went into Aries. That's what it was. That's what it was. Okay, so she's actually coming up to, with her being in Cancer, she's in her first quarter. Transit, so of the cardinal signs anyway. All right, I'm going on tangents. Let me, I think I'm gonna drop into one more spread, but let me actually just pull up the other feed to see if anybody wrote anything real quick. And then I'm going to bounce. Real quick. And then I'm going to bounce. All right, so quick. Okay. Oh God. It's hard being on your cycle when you feel everything. Oh man, I've been so loopy. Also, let me see if I remember there's any other announcements, because it's really more so the grid. Sign up for the newsletter, of course. you know. Please also subscribe to the channel. Help me get to 1,000 subscribers. And oh, if you're in Los Angeles, I can't believe I forgot this. Lord have mercy. I'm gonna get it together, y'all. If you're in Los Angeles on Sunday, August 4th at 5:30, I'm going to be teaching an Astrology 101 workshop at Mostly Angels Crystal Shop, which is in Mid-City. So it's going to be 2 hours. It's basically going to be a condensed version of longer classes that I've done in person before. So you have to go to their website to grab your ticket. But I have the link, on the homepage of my website. So yeah, if you are local and you want to join, then come on through. So that's coming up in what, 2.5, 3 weeks? It's coming up close, quickly. Okay. Last messages. And okay, so this seems like it's going to be messages specifically about Venus and Pluto. Okay, we have the Lover's card. King of Swords came out again, Ace of Swords, and again, this Princess of Swords. And the Devil card came out. Yeah, so there are some new partnerships or new work agreements specifically that are popping up. And I feel almost like it's half and half, honestly, because like this work stuff has really been coming through heavy. And I normally don't necessarily get a lot of relationship stuff, but that's coming through as well too. So it's either, 50-50 split from the folks who are watching this, or you're actually experiencing both. All right, so you just, not just you, we just got to chill. We got to chill over this coming week. Because the thing is, regardless of the context, whether this is work business stuff or relationship stuff, we're already starting now to have an influx of members of our new soul group, our new soul cluster for this next stage of life. And so that might be part of what's causing the turmoil, is because you might not fully be ready to let go of what has been, or just trying to figure out how to juggle the old energy and the new, or the old groups of people and the new groups of people. This is not the time though, and when I say this, the time meaning like basically over this next couple days until we really get more so into next week, and we have the sun shift into Leo, which I think is going to help significantly. But right now, just chill. Okay. Do the things that you know you have to do, but ease up on the hypervigilance. Because when you step back a bit and become detached, not disengaged, okay, because you still need to be aware, you still need to be focused, but when you're able to kind of pull back from all the doing and come back to center, come back to that place of peace, then the clarity is going to have an easier time to come through, and it'll be easier for you to make decisions and know what you actually have to take action on right now versus not. So if anything is, I mean, okay, so I'll say this. Ultimately, just really try to go with the flow for this week coming up. In general, that's going to be a big theme for the next 6 months, just because of this current 6-month cycle we're in with Cancer. Like, it's just going with the flow is going to have to be the thing, because we're going to see now more than ever how much suffering we cause ourselves, in addition to the things that are going on externally, right? But our internal world causes us a lot of suffering. So this is a good week to practice detached engagement with your life. Stay in control of your power. Stay true to what you want and where you're going. Be really clear and always come back to what your non-negotiables are. And if you feel a lot of the internal turmoil coming up, then that should be an immediate indication to you that either something externally is out of alignment, right? Or that you're thinking about whatever is going on is out of alignment. And in that case, out of alignment will really just be looping on ideas of the past or what you think is going on, as opposed to dealing with like hard facts, right? Because surprisingly enough, like with this is now the third spread I think that I've done. Like water is non-existent. Like this is primarily swords. It's mind. It's consciousness. So this isn't even an emotional thing. So keep a strong mind. Don't let your mind run away with you. And if you get mentally overwhelmed, then you just stop and you just meditate and just be still. That's always going to be the answer. And use sound, use music to help with that if you're having a hard time kind of dropping in and grounding into that. If the mind is really all over the place, binaural beats, solfeggio, frequencies, that kind of stuff will really help to entrain your brain waves. And I would say listen for at least 7 to 10 minutes with the binaural beats if you really are wanting to like reset quickly. You need about that much time. But that's not really a long time. All right. So I hope that helped. Sorry that the live chat on this different browser isn't showing, because it was showing on the other one. So I prefer a lot more interaction. But regardless, given the fact that this stream is much clearer compared to last week, me not seeing the chat is not going to make me upset. So, because I was highly annoyed last week, like highly annoyed. That was not fun. But, 2 days later, the Wi-Fi went out around here, so. Oh, Mercury. Okay, y'all, have a blessed week. I will see you soon, God willing. And yeah, love you much. Bye.